Hi Pisces, welcome to your May 2023 reading. Before we get started, I've got some good news to share with you guys. We have found a new place to live, and it was kind of a strange turn of events because it was like the last place where we thought we would live. But we have a new place to live. We'll be moving in the first week of June, and we are starting from scratch. Before I left Missouri, I gave everything to my oldest son so he could fill up his house, and the place that we were living in before was fully furnished. So now we're totally starting from scratch. Need to buy all new furniture, all new kitchen stuff, everything. So I have my whole calendar open for May. Um, all of my readings are available, the astrology readings, the tarot readings, the mindful guided coaching if you just need a little bit of extra advice or some intuitive help or guidance that's going on during this time. I have my 6 month reading available, so you can get the July through December reading. Now you can get on my calendar for that. What else? Solar returns. If you did still haven't gotten your solar return for this year and you still have time, it happens. Your solar return goes on for a whole year. So my calendar's open. If you want to help us out, that would be awesome. And let's get into your astrology, Pisces. So on last Monday, May 1st, just a couple days ago, excuse me, Pluto is retrograde now in Aquarius. And he will be retrograde for the next 5 months. And so he's going to regress back into Capricorn until October. It'll actually be, I think he'll be in Capricorn. Um, some people are saying, I saw something today that somebody said it was like November something, but I don't think that Pluto's actually back in Aquarius until January of 2024. I could be wrong, but that's what I've been saying because I'm pretty sure that that's what I wrote down. But if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But during this time, Pluto is going to be dipping back into your 11th house for a little bit. And so you may see some personal growth. When Pluto is any retrograde, really is about us going inward. And we look at those aspects that are restricting. We look at those aspects we need to change about ourselves, the shadowy things that we don't necessarily show. And then when the planet is direct again, that's when we embody everything that we learned from the retrograde. So you may have some cycles that are closing for you when it comes to friendship groups and people that you normally would have connected with in the past, and maybe you're not so necessarily connecting with them anymore. Um, on the 5th, which is Friday, so a couple of days from now, we have the Scorpio lunar eclipse that's happening in your ninth house. And so this eclipse is helping you guys to rewrite your beliefs. It's, oftentimes, sometimes it doesn't happen with people who are very stuck in their ways, but oftentimes we find as we get older that our belief systems that we grew up with no longer work for us, or in some way we need to change them or evolve them. And now is probably that time that you're recognizing that the things that you used to relate to or you used to believe, they're not necessarily true anymore. And what's really funny is there are a lot of people that are waking up to that point right now. So it may not just be Pisces risings that are going through that. I think there are a lot of people that are recognizing that the things that they were told when they were younger were not true. We have Mercury going direct in your third house on May 14th. So communication becomes a little bit easier. Technology stuff isn't so annoying anymore. And you'll just probably recognize that things just become a little bit easier. May 16th, Jupiter will ingress Taurus until next May. So this is also in your third house. So you're going to find abundance in your everyday life. You'll find abundance working with siblings, working with and not working, but like working together in a group setting with people. You'll find that the more you allow yourself to communicate, to open yourself up, to say the things that you need to say, that you'll find more abundance in that too. You also may find that you're learning new things. A new mentor or teacher could come along at this time. for the next year while Jupiter is in the third house. And along with that Scorpio lunar eclipse, the eclipse is in just opposite of where all of this Taurus energy is going to be for you. So whatever it is that you're releasing in that ninth house during the Scorpio lunar eclipse, there's a rebuilding process that's happening in the third house with all of this Taurus energy coming in. May 19th, Taurus new moon, learning something new, being your own teacher. Um, I know, actually, I know a Pisces rising, she's probably, or a Pisces sun, she's probably watching this, that's doing the Reiki class. That was something that I didn't mention at the beginning of this, but I'm actually offering a Reiki class and attunement, Reiki 1, on May 20th. So for you guys, that would actually be like the perfect time to do something like that. So that's an example. And if you've been wanting to do Reiki and you resonate with me, you know, I wouldn't want anybody to um, do something like being attuned to Reiki if you didn't resonate with me personally. Like, the teacher is very important when it comes to stuff like that. So um, on May 20th, so like stuck right in between the Taurus new moon and the sun moving into Gemini, we have this very interesting T square that's going to be happening. A T square is when we have two planets opposing each other and then one planet that's squaring both of those planets, and it creates a right triangle, but we call it a T square in astrology. So we will have Pluto at the Aquarius 0 degree, we will have Mars at the Leo 0 degree, and then we will have Jupiter at the Taurus 0 degree, making that square. So the Mars opposite Pluto opposition in itself is going to cause some drama, some power struggles. You know, I don't want to tell things to like scare people, but, and I'm not even trying to do that. I don't even want to use the word but in that sentence. I'm not trying to scare people by saying this. Um, I am giving the cautionary tale because other people could easily be the projecting point, and it's just focus on yourself. It's easier to get ahead in life when you are doing something for the betterment of humanity and not just the betterment of yourself. And that's what this T square is going to be teaching all of us. Then we have the sun moving into Gemini, which will be your fourth house of house and home. So you're going to be really focused on the heart and being at home with the family. Let's look and see what it is that Pisces is surrendering for May with the power of surrender cards. What is it that Pisces is surrendering? Surrender to setting limits. It is healthy to set boundaries in relationships. Practice expressing your needs and remember that no is a complete sentence. So surrender to setting limits. Make sure that you are putting your boundaries up. Make sure that you are setting limits. Make sure that you are taking care of your own heart. And surrender fear. Let go of all the fearful stories you are telling yourself. Stay in the moment. Focus on solutions and celebrate every baby step forward. So it looks like there are certain things that there are certain people possibly that you need to start setting some boundaries with. And that starts with yourself. Like 100% Pisces. One of the things that a Pisces sun is meant to learn in this lifetime is setting boundaries, because Pisces, just by nature, is boundless. You guys are connected to the earthly realm, you're connected to the spiritual realm, you're connected to the underworld, you're connected to the middle world, you're connected to the upper world, you're connected to all of it all the time. And so learning on your journey how to be focused connected on each of those things instead of just swirling around in your confusion constantly, and allowing yourself to have boundaries. You first have to have boundaries with yourself. A lot of times with Piscean energy or even 12th house energy, you don't even have to be a Pisces for this to be true. But I know several Pisces that will use alcohol, use marijuana, use all, any kind of drug just to escape the fact that they're so connected to everything. They feel everything all the time. My stepdad is a Pisces sun, and he was somebody that he would watch TV and he would literally tune out the entire world. Like, that's how he, as a Pisces, dealt with the fact that he was so spiritually connected to everything. So when we're looking at your Piscean energy, first of all, you got to get honest with yourself and be like, what is it? What are the things that I need to say no to myself about? What limits do I need to set with myself? That could be anything from like setting a time limit when you're watching television, setting, not coming home and having that glass of wine like you've been doing for the last 20 years, which would be a really hard thing to do. Whatever bad habits that we have, I have a sixth house Pisces, so I know about bad habits, you guys. Like, I get it. That sixth house, and my bad habits were directly done to my body. So I totally get that part. Um, what we want to do in life is to look at our bad habits and we want to say, is this something that is helping me to grow, or is this hindering my growth process? That kind of thing. And then once we get honest with ourselves, we can be honest with everybody else. It really, I mean, it's 100% true. Once we get honest with ourselves, we are honest with everything. Oh, wow. Okay. So some of you are going through a broken heart, or some of you, if you're not going through the broken heart right now, it's a reminiscent. It could be that this lunar eclipse energy really brings up things from the past. This lunar eclipse is going to help you guys evolve. Being in the ninth house, it's about expansion. And we can't have expansion if if we're all muddied up, if we're all sorts of cruddy on the inside, and we're not, we're not emotionally capable, mentally capable, all of that stuff. When we're like projecting, when we're angry all the time, it's natural and normal to have emotions and to be angry, but it's not natural and normal to project that onto people when they didn't do anything to you, right? The first card that came out, or the first card that flipped over, was the Tower, you guys. So coming into May, you may find that everything is falling apart. Mercury retrograde is not helping that. You may find that everything might even be falling apart in your home life, or like in your home, because Mercury retrograde is in your fourth house. And then we have the Taurus energy right next to it. And then we actually have the King of Pentacles. So we have the Hierophant and the King of Pentacles. You could be dealing with a Taurus or another earth sign. Some of you are moving away from this person. You're moving away from a relationship. You're moving away from the earth sign, because it's time for you to start healing whatever happened in that relationship. Now, if it's not ending now, then again, it was something in the past and it's being brought up again because you didn't fully allow yourself to process it the first time, right? So we have the Tower, we have the Hierophant, we have the King of Pentacles. Something is dramatically changing and shifting your entire foundation because of this pain or this heartache that's ready to heal now. We have on the bottom row, we have the Six of Swords. So moving from rough waters into calmer waters. And it's happening in your mind. This is about you shifting your perspective, because swords are our thoughts, right? So you're shifting your perspective and you're moving it into a different space. Then we have the Knight of Cups, and we also have the Three of Swords. So this is how I know that you're ready to heal it, because you're taking action, right? You're wanting to bring a little bit of love. See how this Knight of Cups is like literally facing this Three of Swords here? It's like you want to bring the love to the situation. You want to heal the situation. And some of that is by reminding yourself, and reminding your heart that you don't have to go through that anymore. And that you are good enough, because a lot of times those situations make us feel like we're not good enough, right? And so that's when you have to set limits with yourself. A lot of times when we're reminiscing about things from the past, that mind chatter, right? It's like a cycle in our mind, the mind chatter. And this month is going to be so much about the inner mind chatter and about not letting it get the best of you. So we have the Tower. Love that. The Chariot came out to clarify the Tower. So you're moving away. The foundation has already been, the foundation has fallen over already, right? I'm wondering if some of you had like an ex come back in your life during this Mercury retrograde, and you're having to set boundaries with that person. And it might even be that you're afraid to set boundaries with this person because you're like, oh my God, but what if I am ruining my opportunity? This is part of your journey. Whatever it was that had to end, whatever foundation was on quicksand, basically, and it had to end, the Chariot's coming to tell you that you're moving away from it. You're moving away from the chaos. You're moving away from the fire. You're moving away from the destruction. Then we have the King of Cups on the Hierophant. So there's your energy. I think the King of Cups on the Hierophant, in a lot of ways, is part of that Scorpio lunar eclipse with the 9th house, where your beliefs are changing. Because the Hierophant is very much often about the belief system of society, societal standards. And it's also about higher learning. So I feel like in a lot of ways, you're moving towards a new path. You're moving towards a new belief system. There's somebody in your past that you really need to have better boundaries with. And when I say better boundaries, I mean stop letting them walk all over you. I know that's kind of easy to say sometimes. Let's see what the 6 of Swords. Oh, nice. Yeah, whatever it is that was ending, you're quickly moving away from it. And that's why I feel like this 3 of Swords is healing. We have the Page of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. So really starting off on a new journey, being the student. That talks a lot about the stuff that's going on in your 3rd house right now with all the Taurus energy. Really being the student and learning to move past the situation at hand, move past the things that had to end. If it was something that ended in your life, or if something was taken away from you in your life, you have to understand that that means that it wasn't meant for you. And people get angry with me when I say that, because they're like, that's not fair. I loved that person. That's not fair. That job was keeping me alive and keeping my family alive. That's not fair. Do you know how unfair I know life is? I know life is unfair. There are things that happen to everybody every single day that's unfair. And what's really interesting is right now, there's such a victim mentality that's going on in the world right now, that everybody thinks that their hardships are the hardest and that nobody else is feeling it. And that's why removing yourself from things that have happened to you in the past and recognizing that those things were meant to happen so that you could grow, so that you could be a better person, and not attaching yourself to those things. That's why it's very, very important. It's very, very important to come back to yourself. It's very, very important these days to know where you're standing. The Death card on the 6 of Swords. The Death card is the transition. You could be moving away from a Scorpio. For some of you, you could be moving away from a Scorpio or a Taurus energy that you were deeply embedded with, right? But the Death card very much talks about the transition of life. And with that Six of Swords, the Death card helps us to transition into easier times, into better times. We have the Temperance card on the Knight of Cups. Now, I feel like the Knight of Cups is you guys pouring love onto the situation. And I think that patience is required with yourself more than anything else, more than anybody else. I feel like the patience is required with yourself right now. Then we have the Five of Swords with the star on the Three of Swords. Okay. You can second guess yourself and re-damage your heart. You can keep going back into the past and thinking that the past is more important than the present moment. You can do all of those things, but your life doesn't want you to. Right? We don't want to sit in the negativity of things happening. If you can do something to change a part of the negativity, then by all means do that. But if it is out of your control, if there's nothing you can do, then why are we wallowing? Why are we sitting in it? So heal those wounds, recognize them coming up, set boundaries with yourself. Don't let yourself create more issues by making choices that bring more issues into your life, because that can easily happen when we're in this spiral type of energy. So I love you guys. I'm really glad that you're moving away from the cracked foundation. And I love you so much. Take care. Have a wonderful May. Bye.